Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie, where we will be looking today at the racing from Turffontein on the inside track, today being the 11th of February. Before we start looking at the form, there's just two things that I want to touch on. First of all, guys, I would just want to to remind you again that the video and selections for Saturday for Turffontein will only be available to subscribers. You can subscribe now for 300 Rand till the end of the month, or you can make use of our special package that we've got now for February, March, April for 900 Rand, which equates to 300 Rand a month, where our normal price is 500 Rand a month. So certainly a good value. And as I always said before, and again when we saw here on JMB midday, that normally on these uh, uh, big race days, that outside of Genie normally give good selections. I've got a nice pick six worked out for a little bit of money. Maybe if you want to, you can add one or two horses and you can probably catch that for not too big a layout. So make sure to contact me on this 083 585 5133 if you want to subscribe to get your preview and selections for Saturday's big racing. So quickly, just a feedback on yesterday at Greyville. Obviously, everybody had the first two races, and that was a nice double for those that went for that. In race three, I did say to be careful. I'm not sure about Rock Flight. As disappointed before, include number 7 in your pick six, which number 7 Golden Duck duly went to the front, and Rock Flight was always chasing. Then in the next race, we didn't fare too well. In race five, I gave you horses 3, 5, and 2 in my selections, but unfortunately, they were all beaten by number 4, Wildly in Love. And then, but in race 7, I gave you this horse at Altissima, and I was very strong at Altissima, which was 12 to 1 at that stage. I also gave you, I said when I did my preview, include Sniper Shop, and that I also said that Good Rhythm will have a good chance, which was also in my as one of my outsider selections, as was number 3 Sing for Nico. So if you followed my advice, the quartet there paid 3,067 Rand. And in the last race, I did say that Theravada was the favorite, but I like number 6 Gentleman's Way a little bit better. And I also suggested that take the quartet. When I gave Gentleman's Way, at that stage it was 6 to 1, but there was the money for it, and certainly the stable knew what the results was going to be. And the exacta only paid 8 Rand 80, which I found that, so I suppose the stable went big because I did say in my preview, go for the exacta 6 and 2, which duly paid 8 Rand 80, which equates to about 4 to 1 if you took an exacta box. And then I also gave you, as part of my outsider selection, I gave you number 8 Aman, and that paid 450 a place, the traffic 111 Rand. So not too bad today. It could have been better, but could have been worse. So yeah, let's move on to the racing of today. We will kick off at Turffontein over the 1450. Remember, this is the inside track at 12:55. We have a work riders event. Let's have a look at the betting currently. It's number 7 Miss Venezuela. Eskimo Pie 28 to 10. Raw 8 4 to 1. Own Your Fate 11 to 2. The Bomb.com 20 to 1 and longer. The rest. When I had a look at my the selections, my first selection originally was number 1 Eskimo Pie, which is a VAR out of a Western Winter Mare, nicely bred. Has run a few nice races here and there, and I thought that this might be the horse that I would select. But then I noticed that a horse that I did tip last time out, Ra'it, the Pomodoro by Al Mufti Mare, is ridden by the jockey that normally rides for Sean Terry in this type of races. And I just got a feeling that this horse is going to be much better today over this 1450. First of all, if you notice that Solomons was riding this horse at the Apprentice, okay? Then the first time was drawn 13 out of 14. It ran on a little bit fast, was 400 to finish 24.2. And last week against Battle Force, I watched that he lost the race at the start. He was gone at the start, lost 2 lengths, could never make it up, and finished downfield 10 lengths behind the winner. But I can tell you now, if this jockey can get this horse to jump today, this horse is going to run a huge race. And currently, this horse is betting at 4-1. Earlier, when I did my selections, the horse was 11-2. So really, there's some money coming for this horse, proving I think that that might be the stable elect. Then for other outsider selections, I went with number 2, which is slightly Spanish, Marwing Stable, elusive forward by Russian Revival May. This horse didn't show much in the first race, but last time out over the 1400 meters, did improve, went up and sat handy, just really, outrun a little bit by the end by Humble 2, but still finished, I think, ran a creditable 23.2. And today the jockey is Sam Ushia from draw 1. I think slightly passion, definitely going to improve, a horse that you need to include in all your play. And then my other outsider selection is number 2, Own Your Fate. Also, this Candace Dawson's table. This horse improved behind Flying Carpet last time out, and from draw 2 can also be a factor in this race. So I think all in all, numbers 1, 2, and 3 definitely with number 5 inclusion. And then another also one that the favorite is number 7, Miss Venezuela. This horse runs in and out, can run a good race, but has also run extremely races. And I'm not too confident on number 7, Miss Venezuela, but I could prove to be wrong. In race 2, we have Autocam Maiden Plate for fillies and mares over 1450 meters. Let's have a bit looking at the betting in race number 2. In race number 2, we got number 1, Say When 8-10, 53-10, Just Judy, Golden Spoon 28-10, Gal Galot 14-1, Bright Eyed Girl 14-1, Miss Flower Power 16-1, Dance About the Sun 25-1, and 25-1, and longer the rest. So my first choice here is number 1, Say When. Silvano by Victory Moon. Me has run 3 seconds, and I think today definitely over this distance of 1450, sorry, drawn 4, Gavin and lead on board is going to be too good for this field. Then my outsider selections is number 2. Now, what amazed me is that what I find hard was that this horse, Flower Power, is 16-1. I couldn't believe it when I saw the betting, because certainly this horse's chances is much better than 16-1 with Flower Power. She ran 2 good races after, having 2 sprints, which certainly, if you look at the breeding, was most probably too short for her. And then ran second to Phoenix, which I think has got a huge future, and then ran 4 lengths behind, so they say. Never threatened, but still run 24.1, which is not bad. And early in her career, over 1160, ran a 22.1 over 400 to finish. And I'm certainly that number 2, Miss Flower Power, is definitely be a contender at the finish. And then my other outsider selection is number 4, Gal Gadot, Oratorio with Silvano May, also a type of horse that will be looking for distance in the future. This horse did run second behind, so they say, last time out, Schwartz, Dennis Schwartz on board, drawn 8, and has run also a nice race behind Phoenix. So she and Miss Flowerhouse has met before, and they're close to each other, so definitely also a horse in with a chance, and also a horse that is currently 14-1. Then my other outsider selections, another horse that I want to touch on is number 5, Bright Eyed Girl. Certainly also a horse that you need to include in all your quartets and trifecta selections. And then here we have number 2, Golden Spoon, versus Getterich by Captain Al, May Captain's daughter, nicely bred. Has had 2 runs, belongs to Michael de Kock and partners. Has had 2 runs over sprints, 1,000, 1,200, and wasn't disgraced in both of them. And from draw 1, also Golden Spoon, I do believe must have a huge chance in this race. And then lastly, we got this first timer, Just Judy versus Getterich by Dices Me. This horse would have debuted last Saturday, but that meeting was moved, and is second favorite in the betting, so surely must show something. Lyle Hewitson on board. Yeah, so although we go for the favorite 8-10, there are horses with chances. I think if you can catch the quartet here, it would be nice. I just want to also mention last spring, number 12, Women of Grace, Luke Ferraris on board, drawn free. Did show some pace behind Clara's last time, pace no finish over the 1400 meters, but coming up a small race, might need a run, but maybe a horse that you want to chuck in like in the back end of your quartet. Then we move on to race number 3, which is a progress plate for fillies and mares, 1800 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 5, Heartstrings, 11 to 10. Shivers, 7 to 10. Sidoni, 6 to 1. Spice Market, 6 to 1. Netta, 8 to 1. 14 to 1. Snow Palace. Here my selection is number 1, which is Shivers, currently second in the handicap. First in the handicap is Heartstrings. Shivers is from the Sham stable, which are getting a few winners lately. Now, the average merit rating in this race is 95. This horse has competed in 106 behind Anything Goes, Saragon, War of Athena. So definitely, I would think Shivers definitely in with a huge chance. Outside of selection is number 2, Snow Palace. One of these days, this horse is going to go to the front and stay at the front. Last time, after running a dismal race behind African Adventure, 3 runs back, over a distance of 3,200, which I certainly think is too long, is too far for her. I think even 2,400 is too far for her. But now today, running over the 1,800 meters, I do feel that this is a distance that might suit a Snow Palace better. And in this small field, she can play a role. There's a thing that said, the smaller the field, the bigger the upset. So, and then the other horses of chances, obviously, the favorite, number 3, Heartstrings, Paul Peter. This horse ran second behind Savannah's Pride in the Cape Town, and last time out ran in the paddock stakes behind Queen Supreme, setting the pace, but got outrun of it, finishing 9 lengths behind Queen Supreme. But guys, there's just one thing I want to quickly mention. Be careful of number 3. I'm sure the horse has got ability. There's nothing wrong. But I have seen in the past that horses that cover went to the Cape and came back. Sometimes they might need a run or two. Yeah, because it's a long way to travel, and it does take out something out of a horse. I'm sure of that. So just be careful if you want to go for Heartstrings. Keep that in mind. Sidonia is also a horse that you never know which one pitch up. If she pitches up, she can win this race very easily. But yeah, as I said, in with a chance, you can include in your bigger play. Space Market won 2 races, a maiden plate and then a C division, but obviously running against much bigger, stronger opposition and way out in the weight. And here we have Netta. Now, Netta did win last time out, but was demoted to second, also in a lower division and also out on the weights. And I think they will find it hard to beat Shivers and Heartstrings. So here we go to race number 4, which is a 1,500 meters. Finish is 88 handicap. Class C, average merit rate at 79. Let's have a look at the betting. The betting being as follows. Number 1, Sparkling Water, 3 to 1. Katy Perry, 4 to 1. 15 to 2. Ululate, 10 to 1. Fireflower, Second Lotus, 10 to 1. Bella Rosa, 9 to 1. 10 to 1. Perfect Angel, 13 to 1. Keep Smiling. Me Time, 14 to 1. And 50 to 1 and longer the rest. Now, here in race 4, my selections is number 9. Number 9 is from the same ownership as number 5, Sparkling Water, both from Wilgerbos. But my the choice goes to number 9, Perfect Angel. This horse is only carrying 52, and it's getting another 4 plus 1.5. So this horse is carrying 50 kilograms. Now, this horse has only had 5 starts, 3 runs back, 1 against Rosparina. Rosparina did came out to win on Thursday. Then ran behind Little Rain, and now today is then ran behind Magical Flight. But today is running in a C79, and there she was running in a C80, 81. And I think with this low weight, Perfect Angel might be hard to beat in this race. Also drawn from six, so no problem with the draw. In my outsider selections in this race is number 1. And I must just say that this race is surely a very open race. Here we have number 1, Keep Smiling. Keep Smiling is an A division horse. The last time this horse ran in the C division was on the 11th of January last year, behind Pomador over the 2,000 meters. And since then has been running against the likes of Summer Pudding, Running Brave, Invincible, Saragon, Lily Blue, Marigold. Now down in class, you're carrying 60 and a half. Merit rating came down from 109 to 89. And I think Keep Smiling is ready to run a huge race. Definitely a horse that you want to include in all your play. Can definitely be the upset of the day. Then my other outsider selection is number 2, Ululate. Also a horse that has won 3 races in a row earlier in late last year. And has been off the track for 101 days, taking a small rest. Kumalo on board, but also a horse that I think has got the ability to win this race. The other horses that we're going to look at is number 5, which is Katy Perry. Number 5 is Sparkling Water. Now, this horse is very well bred. It's a Silvano by the mare is Uspamanti by Dan Silly, this damn sire. This horse ran second to Franklin after winning a maiden beating Bella Belize. But that was in a 75. And I'm thinking she's running against a little bit stronger class. But obviously, maybe she's got a breeding, and with, for me, not without a chance. And also, Flower also ran second last time behind Curvation, after beating Franklin 2 runs ago. So certainly, Flower also in with a small chance. So all in all, a very open race. A few horses got good chances. Here we got Bella Rosa also getting -2.5, and certainly also not without a prayer. Number 7, Bella Rosa. So all in all, put in as many as you can in your pick 6. Then we get to race number 5, which is a 1600 meters, Class D, average minute rate at 69. Let's have a look at the betting here. The betting is as follows. Bahana Bridge 4-1, Storm Commander 11-2, Eldra Manzi 7-2, Illuminate 8-1, Shadow Crook 17-1, 17-2, Wakas, Atomic Blonde 11-1, Grazing the Grass 16-1, 16-1, Sunshine, and Better 20-1, and Better the rest. Here in this race, I found you a nice outsider, which I would include in all of my bets. As I said, we're racing here in a Class D, average minute rating 69. And guys, you can remember, I've always told you many times over that the best way to find winners is to look for horses coming down in class. And Atomic Blonde is such an example of such a example of a horse coming down in class. This horse is now running in a, as I said, just want to quickly, Class D 69. Now, before this horse had a minute rated of 88, now a minute rated of 79. And this horse has run in C division 78, B divisions 83, finishing within 1 length behind Lars of the Legend. Also, it's a blue in an 80, running an 84, 3 lengths, third behind Shabak, running in an 85 behind Sal High. Then last time out over the 2,000 3 lengths behind Don't Look Back. And I certainly feel that Atomic Blonde definitely with a huge chance coming down in class. Warren Kennedy on board for Paul Peter, and I think Atomic Blonde definitely in with a chance in this race. Then for me, the surprise package of horses is a horse that has improved. El Romanzi couldn't find a winner's box for like 20 races, and then all of a sudden he won a maiden and then quickly won 2 more races. And then after the death of Royal May Francis, moved over to the St. John Gray stable, where he's been improving steadily. Last time out running 2.9 lengths behind Bahama Breach. Now that's that on that day it was 3.5 difference in weight, and today it's 58 and 59, so only 1 kilogram So Remanji is getting 2.5 kilogram turnaround with Bahama Breed, which certainly would bring him in a picture, Kumalo on board. So I do find fancy number 2, Remanji, to be there when the photos are taken. And then another horse that's running constantly, Illuminate, won 2 races end of last year, and since then has been placed in this company. Last time around running strongly 22.8, which to me is a very fast time. 400 to finish, it says here fastest last 400 meters with the same jockey behind Only the Brave, running on strongly to from 6 back at the 400 meters to finish, 1.6 at the finish. So number 4, Illuminate, also a horse that you want to include into your play. Shadow Creek won the maiden last time out, so I'll pass that by. So here we have number 7, Bahama Breach, who certainly improved after coming back off a small rest and has won 2 races in a row on the Turffontein and the Val. Today going has run over the inside course, but I've got a feeling that the inside course is maybe the straight might be too short, or because the horse has run over this course and 4 times for only a placing, a third placing. Yeah, can win, but other ones that can also win. Then let's move on to the next race, which is race number 6, which is a merit rate at 90, handicap over 1600 meters, Class B, average merit rate in 83. Let's have a look at the betting here. Race 6, number 3, Crank It Up, 33 to 10. August race 9 to 2. August Rain against the grain 6 to 1. Namakolan 6 to 1. Elusive Force 7 to 1. I Will Sprint 7 to 1. 17 to 2. Trend Master 11 to 1. Call Me Master and 20 to 1. Talin. And again here, my first change is the number 1 horse, Elusive Force. This horse is carrying 63 minus 4. Is today running in a B Division 83. And now running in has been running in stronger competition, and also getting the minus 4 from the apprentice, only carrying 59. This horse ran 3.525 lengths behind Summer Pudding, and then before that won 3 races in a row, and last time I competed in 103 and 88, and now today competing in an 83. And I think number 1, Elusive Ford, ready to run a huge race. And another thing that I want to point out on this horse, course and distance, 3 runs, 2 wins. Man, that really is huge. Record on this course is 4 runs, 3 wins. So she certainly likes the inside course, and I think Elusive Ford ready to run a big race today. Outsider selections is number 5, which is Salim. Now, this horse is down at the bottom of the betting. But if you also have a look, this horse has been running him against in 8 divisions. 93, 94, 102, 96, 99, 94. A run against horses like 4.5 lengths behind Summer Pudding. Last time I ran behind Risk Taker. But I think the distances that she's been running was too short. Now today she's going back over the distance that she's won. And the most interesting thing about Talin is that she's running this course with 4 runs and 3 wins. Certainly a type of horse that you do want to include in your play. Down at the bottom at 25 to 1, and could actually also 20 to 1 could actually also be a nice each way bet that you can take. Number 5, Talin. Then my other outsider selections is number 9, Ivalo Sprints. This horse is carrying 52.5, minus 2.5, jumping from draw 1. And I certainly think this horse is also a horse of ability. Has competed against the likes of Whirly Whirly and Express of the USA, running in much higher divisions than it's running here today. Last time out ran 3.75 behind Kingsley's Heart. Late progress, fastest 400 to finish, 22.9. Certainly number 9, Ivalo's Price. Prince with this weight aboard, certainly in with a huge chance. Then the favorite is number 3, Crank It Up. Not a favorite that I would be excited about. Got beaten last time by Wiley Wench, ran on late, and then the race before that got 3.75 behind Golden Page and never went on. Then ran second behind Whirly Whirly, captain of the ringer. Yes, the horse has got a chance, and he'll be foolish not to put it into your pick six, but not the type of horse I would be running up to the bookmaker taking a bet. Then we move on to race number 7, which is a fillies and mares 88 handicap over 1200 meters, Class C, average meter rate at 77. Here the betting is as follows. Number 6, Dubai Princess, 16 to 10, 53 to 10, Pacifica, Rises 19 to 2, 5 to 1, Capitina, Dana, Raisa, El Risa 15 to 2, 50 to 1, and better the rest, scratch number 2, Princess Nicole, Lady of Liberty, and Golden Spiral. Now, here in race 7, I went for number 6, which is Dubai Princess. I did sit last time out in my preview that I'd really fancy Dubai Princess. I think this horse has got much more ability than shown in the previous runs, and she was running against classes much higher. And then last time out ran in an 80, and today running in a 77, so she's actually down in class, beating Letitia's Angel. Letitia's Angel ran second again during the week, but it was also run nice races behind Nina Amelia, Sweet Future. And I think Dubai Princess has now found her feet, is drawn 7, which is not too bad. And yeah, I think Dubai Princess ready to follow up on her last victory again today. Outside of selections is number 5. Rises won. Rises won 2 of his first 3 races, and then did also compete in a small future in Natal behind 5 Song. Then ran second to Miss Khalifa. Last time out over the 1400 meters, did faded over the last bit, and says you're not striding out. Today running back over the 1200 meters, which is a distance that she has won before, and I do feel that she can definitely be involved in the finish here. Rises won. And then my other outsider selection is number 12, which is Capitiana, also getting the -2.5 from this jockey, only carrying 50. Also a horse that's always there and there in bouts, and he's going to surprise formally from the Jeff Woodruff stable, but since September at the Larker stable. Did show some promise earlier in her career, winning 2 races in a short space of time, but has since then struggled. But one's got a feeling that one of these days she is going to put it together, and then she's going to find the number 1 box. Then we move to race number 8, which is a 1200 meters, merit rated 102, Class A, average merit rating 95. Let's look at the betting here. Number 6 was Ricky, even money, Spring Break 4 to 1, 11 to 2, Battle of Trafalgar, Captain Hindsight 8 to 1, down to 0, 12 to 1, Spring Groove 12 to 1, 14 to 1, Russian Prince, Graduate 19, scratch number 3, Benji. Yeah, guys, let's have a look here at the favorite, which is a hard favorite, number 6 was Vicky. But I do want to warn you guys, this horse can win. But this horse has also disappointed before. Now, today, this horse is running in a 95. The last time out won a 92. And was due to run on Tuesday, but was scratched. Now, I don't say this horse cannot win. This horse did win last time out over the 1450. Now getting back to the 1200 meters and course and distance suited. But my first selection in this race is number 7, Spring Break. Spring Break has always shown a lot of potential, and then came from the Garth Wright stable, Alison Wright stable in 2019. And I think this horse won well last time out behind Thumbs Up, rallied game. And I think that she has got the ability to beat the favorite, was Ricky. That certainly is going to be the deal of the race. And I do think that the other horses will all be racing for 3rd and 4th. In that regard, I'm looking at number 1 down to 0. A horse that has run against much stronger opposition than in this race, and has run a few very good races. 35 runs, 4 wins, a lot of seconds, 7 seconds, and can I think down to 0 is the horse of Ryan Munger on board that can surprise the first two selections, certainly in with a chance. And then another horse that you can pop into your quotation trifectas, who also runs good races from time to time. is number 4, Captain Hindsight. This really also knows how to lift his feet and certainly can be a contender comes the winning post. So also include then number 5, Battle of Trafalgar. Also a horse that ran second behind Risk Taker as stable companion. But the problem with Battle of Trafalgar, he either wins, he's won 3 races. Um, but he's also been disappointed sometimes. So yeah, you take your chances with number 5, Battle of the Trafalgar. Not a very consistent horse. So let's move on to the last race. Now the last race is one of these classified stakes over 2,000 meters. So let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is number 2, Grosvenor's Glory 2-1, Romeo's Magic 4-1, In for a Penny 9-1, Oyster King 9-1, In the Game 11-1, The Brassway 11-1, Praise the Rebel 14-1, Carrion 15-1, Drummer Do 20-1, Twice the Act 20-1, and longer the rest. Now, as I always said before, that I have a form analysis, and part of our form analysis is handicapping. That's the way that we do our analysis by handicapping. Now, I, I find it very difficult to do analysis on these type of classified stakes. But what I've noticed in the past with quite a few horses, races, that if I look at the best weighted column, that gives me indication of which horses has got chances. And I would say 80% of the time, the winner from a race comes out of the computer form's best weighted column. Now, in this regard, we got number 13, Twice the Act. So I went down to number 12, 13, Twice the Act. And I looked at number 13, Twice the Act. Now, let's have a look here. Twice the Act has got a medal rated of 72, carrying only 53.5, plus get an additional minus 2.5 from a very competent jockey. Now, this horse has run over 1,600 meters, 1,400 meters, but his last 2 races were over the 12,000 and 1,800 meters. Now, the class of horse racing in this race is a D64. Here, Twice the Act ran in a D division 71, 71, and 81 before. And I think with this weight off with 2.5, so leaving him with 51 kilogram in this race certainly gives number 13, Twice the Act, a good chance of winning this race. Therefore, I would think number 13 would be a good, nice each way bet, and certainly worth including into your quartets and trifectas and whatever play you play. And for my outsider selections, I went for horses, but not some big outsider, but Romeo's Magic. Romeo's Magic is also a horse that improved quite considerably after joining the St. John Gray stable. Before that, couldn't find a win or a place in 11 races, but now since the St. John has run a win and a second, and I think with today in this race can be a factor, as well as number 9, which is Drummer Dude. Drummer Dude has also got the services of apprentice Jeffrey Seistek, also getting minus 1.5, and certainly that brings him in contention, having run a few places after breaking the maiden over the 2,000 meters. Do have a win and a place to his credit on this distance, and certainly I think Drummer Dude can be involved in the finish. And then another horse that you want to have a look at is number 2, which is Grosvenor's Glory, who won a maiden quite easily last time over the 1,600 meters, and has got the breeding to go over this distance. But I'll just be a little bit wary. This horse just won its maiden. It's a 3-year-old carrying 60 kilograms against some hard knockings carrying next to nothing. In for a Penny is also a horse that is running quite a few places, but is drawn 13 and coming off a race of 145 days, which I think you will need the run. So Oyster King is also a horse that I've been following last time out, ran an improved race, was there about in the finish behind Woolsworth, 4 horses finishing in one length of each other. I did fancy the horse, and maybe he can deliver again today. And here we have number 6, Rabia the Rebel, also a horse with a little bit of ability, has already got 6 wins to a credit, which is not bad. and is a perennial front runner. And sometimes this horse do stay on, from start to finish. But I see lately sometimes they have now a runner from the back a little bit, so I'm not sure where this horse will be placed when the gates open, either in the front or sitting and waiting and be to run on. So that brings us to the end of our preview. I hope I could point you in the right direction for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.